What's cracking, my friends? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I know I am every day, right? And just know that everybody has a fantastic, beautiful plan for each and every single one of you. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever said that, but that's okay. I do wish things like that. I always wish for the best for the folks that come into my life, whether it's on the YouTube side or in, just in person. I talk to a lot of people. All right, a lot of people. I think that's been exacerbated ever since I've collaborated with the live coin Q&A panel, and that's all well and good. That's like the one real kind of like collaboration that I've personally felt comfortable taking a part of, because as a content creator talking about coins and currency and various other types of collectibles, okay, we all understand that there can be an extraordinary amount of value and collateral, and obviously when you do a channel, and I didn't think about it until about a year after I started my YouTube channel. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta make sure that there's a little bit of security involved when it comes to doing something like this, making sure that you're not you don't have like the address or phone number plastered on a piece of mail sitting on the desk behind me or something to where just anybody can read it. Um, and it's a funny thing because I've received emails for years. I've been doing the YouTube thing for coming up on 12 years, I think. I'm between the 11 and 12 mark. Unofficially, I guess. I don't know. It's a long time. All right. So consider me, I guess, part of the golden age of YouTube content creators, although my subscriber base count and all that doesn't really, kind of kind of look like I'm part of the golden age. Sean, why don't you have 5 million subscribers? Well, I operate a very, very niche kind of channel with a very, very niche topic. And I think that's where a lot of the appeal comes in, and the allure and the questions and all that stuff. They come pouring into the email, so it wasn't no surprise. Obviously, I received my first few emails, and at first glance, they're like, "Oh wow, this is all new to me." How do I proceed? And you could imagine that after doing it for 10 years, obviously within the last year or so, I've routed a lot of those emails to our live coin Q&A email box. And then generally, if you needed to get a hold of me or anyone on our panel for some expert coin and currency advice, that would be the way to go. Commenting in a video, probably not. I think my channel has grown to the point where it's unrealistic of me to go in there and comment on every single thing. But here's the thing, all right? Just so you don't feel like that you're not being heard, I get instant notifications on my mobile device, the very device I'm taking a video of right now. In the course of a video, I probably get 10 pop-ups of someone commenting on my video, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And oftentimes, I'll take a look and read it. All right. And the people who are negative Nellies for whatever reason of their own, maybe it's a lack of personal life satisfaction at this given time, will say something pretty mean. But I've developed this thick skin, and I've developed a lot of, I guess what you could say, just years of growth and education and getting socked in the mouth professionally a few times. And it all stems from my early days of working the bell-to-bell grind at a local car dealership when I was still living in Tampa, Florida. I was scared. I was a little timid. I was a little shy of walking up to just random strangers and trying to get them to spend $40,000 on a new truck. Okay, well, that didn't age well, right? Because have you seen the price of a new truck lately? But you can imagine, your first time around, we're working at a full commission employment where you're not really guaranteed anything. You'll be lucky if you come to a dealership where they actually offer you a draw against your commission, which, by the way, the amount of money is not enough to live off of. For those of you that work in the car business, you guys know what I mean. But it's feast or famine, baby, and you have to grow and develop this thick skin. And that's what I did. I did this for about 7 years before I decided to get out. As a matter of fact, it was 2008 where I said, see you later. 2008, no big secret, was the recession. That was the downfall of anything with any sort of value. Banks weren't lending out loans, as frequently to just anybody, and things kind of went to a halt. The car business slowed down to a crawl to the point that there wasn't nearly enough customers and prospects coming in the door. Now, why does this matter in a conversation about coins? Well, it's life. It's a life lesson. Again, like I said, I've taken a few punches to the mouth professionally, and I did working in a car business. But I bet you guys didn't know that there was a period of time, and I'm not afraid to share this. This is long before I got married and all that. There was a period of about 1.5 months where I got so down on my luck, not selling any cars. I had a hard time that I was living in my car. That was officially rock bottom. We all get to them points in our life. Okay, maybe not necessarily homeless, living under the bridge, or living, living by the river in a van. Okay, sometimes it's just not like that. Sometimes it's just, you've gotten to a low point in your life, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally, whether it's in a relationship or whatever the case may be. But you have to take that one initial shock and you have to turn it around and use it as a positive reinforcement moving forward in your life. So that's what I did. And that's why I only lasted about 1.5 months. But that 1.5 months felt like a long time. And you can imagine being in the state of Florida, living in your car. Probably, if I remember right, I think it was like September. Weather still hot as hell, and the humidity. You guys that live in the Sunshine State understand this, especially living, in the area that I did. It is what it is. And that was a part of my life that shaped me into what I am today, where I'm married, I'm healthy, I'm, somewhat healthy. I mean, come on now. Happy. I'm incredibly happy. I'm sane and clear. I have a lot of clarity up here of who I am in my life. All right. But most importantly, I took everything from the low point of my life back in 2005, I believe, and I've made it a point and a mission to do everything I can to improve myself. So I wish that the current me today in 2022 can go back in time and kind of help coach that earlier me who was down on his luck for various reasons, and turning it all around and doing it as quickly and as expediently as possible, so that way I don't feel like I'm in the dark. Okay, so this whole thing, relevancy wise, comes full circle to today, where I had the pleasure of talking to someone. And I wouldn't exactly say it was a pleasure. I had chat with someone through my email for the Blue Ridge Silverhound channel on Gmail. And we got to talking. And he was dead set, and he was incredibly defiant. He had a number of coins that probably looked no better than the scrappy, crappy quarter that you see here. He wanted to send a whole bunch of these to the graders. And this is a gentleman that wanted to get essentially 10 to 15 years of experience shoehorned into a 2-paragraph email. All right, that's what it is. And I've had 25 years of experience in the coin business, but it got to a point where I decided, you know what, I needed to take some valuable time off to get my career in order. Okay, and that was pretty much during that time where I was homeless, where I was completely out of the coin game. Okay, a lot of what I did have was back home when I was in Florida. All my stuff was in a different state, and my parents were retired, and I didn't bother them with all this stuff. But once I told them that, yeah, I was living in my car for a while, they were really upset. But it was what I needed to get me through a time, so that way I can become more patient and more humble. And this person that wanted to send off like 8 coins to NGC or PCGS or whatever, based off of some shoddy, shitty information that they received on YouTube, not necessarily from my channel, but because I want to talk real. I want to, I tell you, yes, this coin sold for this amount of money. Or this particular variety exists out there that you can find today. Well, all these things are true, and they're very, very real. They're very concrete in our lives. This coin did sell for this amount of money. However, this is how you get here. All right, this variety or error exists, but guess what? You can only find these in a certain state, or they're only on the East Coast, or you have to be on the lookout for these, or less than like 0.1% of these exist in the population of that coin. So after a few exchanges with this gentleman about trying to get him to pull back a little bit from spending $300-400 on this submission, and I talked to him. I said, how much research have you done on these particular coins? Well, I watch the YouTube channels. Isn't that enough? I'm like, okay, well, that's not exactly what I meant. All right. You said you were interested in grading these. Have you had the opportunity to jump onto PCGS or NGC's website? Okay. The couple of things that you're going to want to focus on. How much is your coin grading submissions going to be for the entire 8-coin lot? Furthermore, have you taken the time to research sold listings of these coins? All right. Have you had the opportunity to take a look at PCGS photo grade? Because a few of the coins, and there was pictures, to kind of preserve and protect the individual that sent this stuff to me, I elected not to post up photos in this one because I promised. We actually ended on a relatively good note, albeit there is a caveat to this, which I will share here momentarily. So, no. I didn't do any of those things, but these coins are as good, if not better, than the coins that I saw on this video. And it wasn't even my video. It was another self-proclaimed, biggest YouTube channel with the most amount of subs for coins. Oh, okay. All right. I know who that is. He even proclaimed it in a recent video. Believe it or not, it actually had images of coins that I sold on eBay. So I'm just going to go ahead and shoot that out there. It is within the last 2 weeks. And some of you probably already know who this is. And I'm like, not pushing that particular content creator under the bus. In this particular instance, I decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take this one in myself and let's see what we could do with it. And then he and I, talked. But there was no really accountability from his side. It's like, I saw these, I'm going to go ahead and send them. And it's like, I don't want to know that I'm going to fail because I know these coins are going to come back as this, a $600 coin. Every single one of them is going to be $600 to $1,000. And they're going to just come in out of the woodwork on a conveyor belt right into my lap. And I'm like, okay. All right, so we're on this understanding. So after 4 exchanges back and forth, I gave him one more opportunity. I said, you really ought to consider not submitting this, but you need to do more research. You need to know the difference. And I even told him, go ahead and spend a few dollars go on eBay, buy the highest graded coin that you could get for around $20. That's business strike. So any one of it, I guess the shield cents in like a mid-state, maybe 67 plus, because he had a number of pennies in his group that he wanted to send out. And I told him and I implored, I'm like, take this one coin. At this point, you've only invested about $20. Take that coin, and I want you to use that as a comparison model piece to all the other coins that you have. That's going to be kind of like your baseline for a 67. If they do not look like that, and they look far worse than that coin that you had bought on eBay for $20, keep that in mind, $20 is not a really good profit machine. If they don't grade at least that, do not do it. And he said, well, I really don't want to invest or spend any more money above and beyond what I wanted to spend initially on the submission fees. We finally got to a point where he understood that it was like $30 a coin, in addition to shipping and all this other stuff. It was going to end up being around $300 to submit all 8 of these relatively modern coins. So I mean relatively modern, we're talking like 70s, 80s. I think there probably was some early 2000s stuff in there. Really nothing to get excited about. It's not going to shoot up the proverbial, skirt any, and get anybody excited. It just won't. It just, this is just, we're talking about someone shooting for the moon on registry set coins. And that's kind of like the wrong way of approaching this. And that was kind of like the last time I heard from him. One thing that I know he did not display, and this kind of made me a little sad, is that he wasn't interested in the perspective of things. He was very much all selfish. He was all about the moment, the money. He needs it now. And he's hinging and leveraging everything that some content creator who is not your best friend into trying to make this happen. Right? No perspective whatsoever. At the very least, you have to understand the perspective. What's the perspective in all of this? Well, I want to learn more about coins. I want the education to be an important aspect for me to grow into a better collector. Because being a better collector means you understand the grading process. Understanding the grading process means you have a little bit of skin in the game when it comes to grading submissions. Because without all that, you're ultimately going to fail. When there's no perspective, where there's no kind of like forward visioning in this hobby, you will fail. Now, the reason why I bring this up, okay, and the reason why I went through the first 8 minutes of this video talking about my life story, living through my 20s and how hard it was and all that stuff, was that it was all about the experience over the course of 17 years. 17 years that ultimately leads to this moment where I'm at right now, where you guys are at right now watching me and understanding. And a lot of my viewers, actually there was a good amount of viewers that are in the 20s and 30s. Not nearly as much, but there are a lot of folks. And it's okay if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. There's still plenty of time. But we get to these crossroads in life where we understand that we cannot continuously hammer in the short game of everything we do in life and expect it to come out seamless and clean. All right. And just give you just like a modicum of a high. It's not fun. None of that's fun. You're gambling on life's choices. And then when they all turn out wrong, you fail. And the one thing that a lot of people kind of hang their life hat on is where they're at financially. They're always quick to want to make that extra $200 to $300, $400, $1,000 right now. when the perspective should be, how about I get better in numismatics or anything I do in life and replace the person that's going to retire in 5 to 10 years? Here I am, Blue Ridge Silverhound, Sean. Who's going to replace me when I'm gone in 10, 15, 20 years? Not saying that I'll be gone in 10, 15, 20 years, but I'm trying to put out a scenario that's realistic, and it gives some sort of like expressive thought and kind of closure to this video. Another thing to keep in mind, seeing as how we are in a hobby where there's a lot at stake, right? Grading has made coin collecting, to the people that see it as a free, easy tendies money grab situation, a very, very gambling-like practice. And then this, and I've seen a lot of crossover of these sports card people coming into the coin side of things, and they're trying to figure out that this coin thing is the same as grading sports cards through PSA and BGS and all that. No. There's similarities, but it's not the same. You still have to start from scratch one, and then you have to go through the process, which could take years. If you're really good, it'll take a few years to get it down pat. But you have to understand the grading process, the Sheldon scale. You have to know your graders, where are they proficient at, where does the market gravitate for these specific graders. And then, then you could possibly kind of dip your toe into it. But, in closing, I've done this YouTube channel for 12 years. Over 1,400, 1,500 videos at your disposal. But keep in mind, that's 12 years. Not including the other years before that of other things I was doing in the coin game. I was even a part-time dealer in 2002. I would go to the show circuit and do all that stuff. I didn't have a brick and mortar, but I traveled. And I had clients, that I was able to help out, to source out and headhunt various type coins. And that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that. But that was one part of my road to numismatic, I guess, stardom. I don't see myself as some master or savant. Or in this particular case, I'm not the self-proclaimed most subscribers coin YouTuber on the face of the net. I'm not that guy. All right. That person creates a completely different channel. Content-wise, there might be similarities, but that person is different from me. And it's crazy when people cross over and they think they have it figured out, because the one thing that a lot of people that cross over from, say, these other YouTube channels is like, they provide me the information a lot quicker than you do. Why do you talk so damn much? I'm like, well, I'm giving you the information correctly. I'm giving you the complete 100% package, rather than the person that tells you, yeah, this coin is $1,000. This coin right here, look out for thing. This one's worth $480. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but where does that get you educationally? Do you even know what a field restricted strike through is? Do you guys know what triple struck out of collar means? Do you know the name of the various different presses that was used throughout the last 200 years of mintage? What are trade tokens? What are Condor tokens? If my other contemporaries haven't told you stuff like this, then you haven't gotten the right kind of education. I don't bash them for any other reason other than it's incomplete. That's it. And something else you gotta know about me, I am real. I am so real and down to earth about this hobby, about people, about making sure that you're on the right and righteous path rather than being led astray, and being led to believe that this is all out there about as easily as you think it is. Because some of these big, expensive errors and varieties of key dates, yeah, they grow on trees, right? That's why this nation isn't in a deficit. That's why we every single person on this God Green's earth has an 800 credit score, right? Facts, guys. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Nobody would be in debt. All right, the whole country would not be in debt. And then everybody would be successful. Everybody would be driving Tesla Model S's, and they would have $1 million, homes, and they would have an oil derrick in their backyard, and all this other great stuff. So something to keep in mind. Slow down your process, and it'll all come to you. That's the ultimate message in all this. Yeah, it was one long hellacious rant, 26 minutes worth, but I had a lot of things in here throughout today and the last few days that I needed to get off my mind. I think I got pretty much about 82% of it off of my chest. So that way you guys know that I do care. I do care, and you guys have worked hard for the things that you have. Why throw it all away because a YouTube channel content creator that you've never shook their hand before, let alone had a face-to-face conversation with? Why you gotta leverage everything like that? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. Have a pleasant rest of your day. And then we'll get into a real coin video here real soon. My daughter is on spring break, so it's going to be a little bit light on content this week. And yeah, I'm going to hang out with her for a little while. All right, you guys take care. Peace.